It was a bad time. The strike was a bad time.
Yeah, really bad.
We got to spend some time together.
Let's throw it. I know cursing is verboten
encouraged.
here, but sure. Let's call it a bad time because otherwise, what are intensifiers for?
Yeah.
Yes, very bad.
And we did spend some time together during the strike. That was nice, but we were talking about a lot of people just assume when you're not working that is a positive.
Yeah, they sure do assume that, don't they?
Yeah.
They assume that almost every day, and they assume that reminding you of that might be a pleasant thing for you to hear. Yeah, it was non-stop. People saying, well, at least you're getting some time off. It must feel like a vacation. And I, most of the time, did not respond to that. And when I did, I was not as gracious as I might otherwise have been. I was on an elevator with my wife, and someone got off saying, yeah, well, at least you're getting a nice vacation. That must be nice. And I was following them off to say, you're wrong about that. Until my wife called me back, said it's not our floor. I know it's not our floor, but that's not appreciating the difficulty of the situation that I'm in right now.
Right before the strike, you were here, and it was lovely to have you here, and your parents were in the audience.
Yes, that's true.
Although you stressed to us...
I did.
Don't mention it, and don't cut to them.
Because that's right. Your producers asked, would they like a camera on them? And I had to say, I cannot overstate enough just how little they want a camera on them right here. It would be the meanest thing I could possibly do to them, and I've not been a perfect child. But yeah, they really did. They were so excited to be here, though. And the thing they said afterwards was, it was really, really fun to go and watch a real TV show. And they had been, Seth, at my show the previous night. Gets one step worse, because I went, oh, I think I understand what you mean. Because, it's like, it's 30 Rock is kind of really, exciting place to be. So I think I see it. And they said, well, could we go and see Colbert next time that we're here? And I said, why? And they said, because it would be nice to see a real guest. Wow. Yeah. So if there's any sense of why I'm like this, there's a little snapshot. That's why my feet are not just...
It does feel like there should be a Huffington Post article that's like, John Oliver's parents destroy John Oliver.
They eviscerate their own boy.
A very well-structured two-part burn on you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Also, that thing of don't... I mean, by the way, don't blame us for asking, like, do you want a camera on your parents? Because of course, when my parents come, they actually bring a camera. Just in case something's wrong with ours.
Your dad is permanently live streaming himself just so you've got two cameras so you can edit around it, right?
Now, we also talked, people like us, hosts, we get asked, it makes natural sense to people, oh, you should host my charity event.
Oh, yeah.
And you, over the years, have just eliminated multiple charities where you're suitable for it.
Yeah, I talk a lot of
Yeah.
So helpfully for me, that, I think
just like narrowed the field.
Exactly. There's not many, and there's not many that I can do or that I'm welcome at. Now,
then you mentioned one thing.
I mentioned last time Sesame Street's the greatest.
Of course, the best.
Obviously, I love them in general so much. I love the idea of them getting as much money as they can so much. So every year I do the Sesame Street Gala. So I mentioned it here because it's so fun. And I thought this would be nice.
Yeah.
And I knew it was coming up. I was then booed at that gala. And I want you to think about how hard it is to make that happen. The theme of the evening was kindness. That's not easy to do. Just to explain what happened. So obviously the whole point is raise as much money as they can. They got a big sponsor. They had Bank of America. Were going to be their sponsor. And I think they got Bank of America by making up this nonsense award they were going to give to one of the executives. I was going to go on after her, and she walked on and she said, I've been thinking about how appropriate it is the Bank of America and Sesame Street have teamed up tonight because we are two organisations built on kindness. And I was standing at the side of the stage. I remember thinking, I'm going to let that go. Because, no one needs me to create a scene right now, because she's out, all the characters are out there with her. The whole point is that we raise money. No one needs an incident here just because she said something that I personally find a little odd to say. So I can let that go. I will choose to let that go. I'm going to make the better choice right now. Then she said it 3 more times in the next 5 minutes, and I snapped, And I walked out and said, it's been odd to hear talk of kindness from Bank of America, an institution that had the highest foreclosure rates over the last 10 years. Booze. Bouncing. Oh, that's the opposite of the reaction in that room. And the worst thing, the thing that is imprinted itself in my memory is all I remember is Bert looking up at me. With such disappointment in his eyes. Just, why are you like this? You're behaving erratically, and I live with Ernie. It wasn't great. So I would like to do it again. Sesame Street, have me back. I'll be a good boy this time.
Yeah. They can trust you on that.
Oh, definitely. Just have McKinsey be a sponsor. That'll be fine.
Very exciting. We are going to be spending New Year's Eve together.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to be doing stand-up in Las Vegas.
Yeah, we are.
And you've noticed that it's very funny, the room they have us doing stand-up in.
Yes, because it's Adele's theatre. And so for one night only, Adele ain't going to be there. And I hope that's made very clear to the people that turn up to that theatre.
It's just that you and Adele are this Venn diagram where just a tiny slice of British. That's it. Just like.
That's it. That's it.
I'm fascinated. I mean, you do New Year's Eve shows every year.
I love it.
And you've always said it's the best way to spend New Year's. And you've been
because you're not really spending it.
Yeah.
Right? You're basically doing something else instead. It's classic displacement activity.
Yeah.
Right? So I love it. I hate New Year's as an evening. I hate it. And so now I do stand-up, which I love, and, they cancel each other out. It's great.
I'm very excited to be doing it with you. Our friend Brooks Whelan will be there as well.
He's going to be there.
Literally the greatest person to be on the road with. You're on the road with him all the time.
Yeah, he's the absolute greatest, funniest, nicest, fantastic human being.
Where do you think we'll be at midnight?
I mean, listen, the high percentage guess is back in our rooms alone.
Yeah.
But
that's what house money's on.
House money is saying having a nice quiet night, getting extra sleep and getting an early flight out back to our families. I will say, having said that, the tradition of coming on this show and things turning out other than I might otherwise imagine, there is a chance you're going to be able to cut from this and it's just you and me in our underwear just running down the strip unloading firearms in the air. We're golden gods! 2024 is going to be great! Pew, pew!
Pew, pew! To the sphere!
Where's Bono?
Yeah. We can find him. We gotta find Bono. We also...
There's nothing worse than an English person saying, where's Bono, with a gun in his hand as well. Where's... Bring me an Irishman. Yeah.
You and I, we podcasted together.
Yeah.
Strike Force 5, which I heard very nice things about.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I didn't know if it would work when we first started doing it.
I was almost sure it wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a very, very pleasant surprise that it turned out okay, people seem to like it.
Yeah.
Even if I did wonder that some people were listening with a pathological interest. Oh, wow, let's just see what these 5 lab rats do when they talk to each other.
Or talk over each other in some
That's
cases.
right, absolutely, yes, in many, many ways.
My favorite thing about the podcast was, and I should say, we should both shout out, we've talked about it a lot, Jimmy Fallon hosted episode 5.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. I am so grateful to him. I am so grateful to him for what he gave us. I needed those laughs so much at that point, and only he could provide it. It's just perfect.
It was a very poorly run, and yet because of that, exceptionally funny, basically newlywed game where Fallon texted our wives. But we did find out super fun things about our wives, including the angriest you ever were with your wife was when you went to a pirate party.
Yeah.
Pirate-themed party.
Yeah, because I dressed like a pirate.
Yeah.
And we were there first, and I remember the host of the party not really being dressed like a pirate and thinking, oh, that's a shame, but at least there's lots of pirates coming. Then another couple turn up, very much not pirate-based, and I'm getting a sinking feeling in my stomach saying the third one will be the key here. Not dressed like a pirate, and I really was dressed like very, very much like a pirate.
Yeah.
So I spent a pretty angry afternoon and evening dressed like a pirate among non-pirates.
Now, I also want to stress, I want to say, even if everybody dressed like a pirate, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you would have hated that.
Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, the evening was not going to go great for me.
Yeah.
but at least I wanted to be, able to be among other pirates. And I really wasn't. I was among people dressed in kind of casual wear.
And there's a photo of you and your wife, and I do want to note she's having a grand old time, and you are the unhappiest I've ever seen a pirate.
Now, you say that. You say that. I would say a pirate on a pirate ship would look that unhappy if none of the other pirates were dressed like pirates.
If it was like Casual Friday on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. You go, hey, guys, you have to let me know. I've pirated up over here. You can't hang me up to dry like this. Arr.
Also, I will say, an eye patch is even funnier when the pirate's wearing glasses.
That is such a fair hit. And if you're wondering how is an eye patch more comfortable, over the glasses or under the glasses, it's a coin flip. You just have to rotate. Neither is good.
Gotta love Kate. Also, it does feel like Kate's goatee is also an eye patch.
Yes,
like,
that's right. Yeah.
It does feel like you guys bought a thing of eye patch and were like, we got to use them all. Whether it makes sense or not.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Also, I just think she could get away with it more than me. I don't know if it's the belt, if it's the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
wig,
everybody who's seen this photo thinks that.
Okay.
You're like, also, I'm going to say something you guys might not have clocked. Kate makes a great pirate. Yeah, no, we're there. Last time you were on the show, we were about to do a New Year's Eve show together in Las Vegas.
Yeah, we did it.
And we talked about what our expectations were for a couple of party animals like you and I.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you feel like, how would you describe the way we rang in the new year?
It was a coin toss, right, of whether it was going to be an early night or cocaine-fueled gun banging orgy of some kind.
Yeah.
That sentence has got a lot of different things in it. I'm not sure they make a meal together.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we did Vegas the way that Vegas is designed to be done.
No.
But we did it our way.
We did it our way.
Which was finish the show, which was fine.
Fine. That's, by the way, the most fun thing about doing shows with you is walking off stage and you being like, fine.
Fine. That was fine. I think Siegfried and Roy used to say the same thing, right? Fine. That was fine until it wasn't.
Yeah. They're like, so they all fine? They were like, almost
I would say
all.
like 99.9%. Google it. The inevitable happened. We ended the night in a back room of a restaurant.
Yeah.
Right? Not eating.
No.
Instead being near, but not that close to the fireworks.
Yeah.
And crucially, you couldn't see down the strip without pressing your face up against the glass.
Yeah.
Like a Victorian orphan. Looking at a family eating a fine turkey dinner with a vibrant fire on the go. And it felt about right, didn't it?
It felt like a thing that both you and I hated.
Really did.
Like, I kept being there like, we're the headliners, and we're definitely not at a place we would pick.
That's right. That room did not seem like it was held for Jay-Z at any point.
They seemed surprised when we showed up. They were like, okay. We've got a very good room. Do you love fireworks? Okay, do you like them a little bit less than most people?
Because I've got the perfect room for that. You'll be near them, you'll hear a thud and some colourful smoke coming your way, but that's basically it.
I've been very lucky to see you monthly, which has been a delay. We've been doing a monthly residency at the Beacon, one of the great theaters in New York City.
Yes.
And we each do stand-up, and then we do a Q&A on stage.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the Q&A a great deal. It's the shaggiest thing I think either you and I do at all.
It's great, and we do tell people that they can and possibly should leave.
Immediately.
That's right. As a full disclaimer, like a verbal contract, if you can go, arguably you should go, the evening's entertainment is functionally over.
Yeah.
However, it's carrying on.
Yeah.
And so, then we answer questions with, various degrees of trying to help each other out from giving an answer that's too honest.
Yeah.
We're going to do more. We're actually extending our run.
Yeah. Look at that. Two guys who are like, they can't possibly.
I know, it's amazing. Actual popular demand.
Yeah.
The market has decided it wants more, and it's one of the rare cases where I and the market agree. Normally, I think, really, market? Fruit Loops and Gatorade are doing a collab? Is this what people want?
The very funny thing happened the last Q&A, which is, and both of our shows have been nominated for the Writers Guild Award, which are being held that night. Oh, yeah. And the first person goes, hey, I have a question. First of all, I want to say congratulations to both of you for being nominated. And John, congrats on winning. So that's how I found out.
Yeah. I would say you flounced off that stage in a huff.
I huffed off. I did huff off. I feel like it was a bad, the way I huffed off.
Like an angered Elizabethan wife.
For this, I will not stand. What I love about doing stand-up with you is I think a lot of people, and I can fall into this trap as well, get very stressed before a show. But for you...
Oh, I love it so much.
It's contagious because you are very relaxed about stand-up.
It's the calmest I ever am is doing stand-up, which is an insane thing to say pathologically. Because the idea of doing stand-up gives people so much stress in general. But I'm so much calmer doing stand-up than I am on a beach. I do hate the beach. Yeah, I do too. So it's not an entirely fair comparison.
It is funny when people say, like, how do you talk for an hour? I go, how do I talk for an hour about what I'm thinking and no one's allowed to interrupt me? Oh, my God. How do I ever suffer?
With utter joy?
Yeah.
You can't. I'm amplified. I'm louder than you.
You did seem to suffer a little bit. You did Hot Ones.
Yeah, I did.
And this really grabs the moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone's eye might be drawn to the napkin work here, but look, I don't know if you can see the hairs on the back of your neck.
That is so true.
Nuts. Like, literally, the hairs on the back of your neck are like, we gotta get out of here.
Literally ejected from the follicles. I'm out.
Yeah.
He's doing something crazy.
It's the greatest show.
Oh, I love it. It was so fun. I will say, I did this literally seconds after he said, please don't touch your eyes. Well, yeah, good point. Touch, touch, touch.
Touch with napkin.
Yeah, it is so fun because it gets you genuinely off balance because you're in physical crisis. And he's asking really smart questions. So there are so many of my answers I was not able to internalize in real time what I was actually saying.
I feel like it's so hot you weirdly time travel past.
Yes, it's amazing.
So you think there's time to change the answer, and you're like, no, wait, that answer was 5 minutes ago.
That's right. No, these are words out loud. These aren't in their head. These are for people's ears words. That's why it was so exciting watching Conan do it, because when you know what his body isn't even necessarily going through in that moment, but is about to go through for the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Holy that brought an extra amount of joy to me.
Well, there should be a second Hot Ones, which is just like security cam footage of us the 24 hours after. Because everybody thinks it's the half hour that you do it is the painful. Oh, no. The next day is the worst.
No, you're basically anesthetized. That de bomb thing is a functional anesthetic.
Yeah.
You can't really feel anything physically or emotionally after that. It's only the next day when you wake up and think, why do I feel like I died? And my hairs are still stuck out on the side. We're mad at you.
Your YouTube page has started doing something very cool. You're uploading all your episodes through the history of the show.
Yes.
You're also a 10-year show, just like us.
That's right. We came of age at the same time. What?
Yep.
We started at the same time.
But you made a massive mistake because you look back, it literally has like season 1, and I don't think you've changed the way you look, but then you look at the YouTube page, you're like, oh, you older now.
It is... It is amazing. There's some comments saying, you need to tell people that these are old shows. You go, do I? Are you sure about that? Look at my face, body, general demeanour. Some happened that hasn't happened yet to this boy. Pandemic, kids, Trump presidency. It escalated over a decade. Yeah.
It is very cool to be able to go back, and it's very nice that you guys have that library available for everyone.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, so yeah, we own the shows now, so they don't get deleted. Now we're giving them to YouTube. So yeah, every week we're off now. We'll do a new season.
There is something that has not happened yet that you threw out into the universe. You basically offered Clarence Thomas $1 million a year, not just $1 million, $1 million a year if you resign from the Supreme Court.
I did do that.
And
I did, yeah.
No,
easy. Oh, easy. So easy to feel that way when you didn't make the offer. And I felt exactly like you until the offer went out on TV. I was so excited. Oh, that was fun. That show went really well. Oh, it's about to happen now, isn't it?
Now, I imagine there's multiple people you just have to talk to about that.
Yes.
People, lawyers.
For sure.
Your wife.
Definitely. Yeah.
Were they as applaudie as this group?
I would say my wife was on the low side of the applaudie. It's more, what did you just tell me? I did say to her, it's until one of us dies. And I think that if he takes the offer...
Not you or your wife, you or Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, that's not... No.
Yeah.
Well, you diagnosed the awkwardness in that room really well. Why would you put that in the offer, you sociopath? Yeah, until I or Clarence Thomas died. And I did feel like if he took the deal, that there were going to be some people so angry with me that they were going to kill me. Therefore, my wife wouldn't be on the hook for the money. But she didn't take that as the reassuring statement that I hoped. Oh, I won't be around for that. Don't worry, it's fine. But it would if he'd said, it was both a huge relief and massively disappointing that he didn't take it.
What was the window of time you gave him?
We gave him 30 days. Honestly, I'd open it up again. As long as he gets out before they're doing the June decisions, I would be willing to open discussions again. So Clarence, I know every time I'm talking to Clarence through the camera here.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Clarence, I know you're a big fan of Seth.
Yeah. I think he's not, but Ginny has it on.
Ginny's just a fan of just the canon of late night.
Oh, just loves it, yeah.
If you want to get in touch and open up the negotiations again, I still have the contract in the drawer in my desk, and I'd be willing to do that.
That's really cool.
Again, until one of us dies, and hopefully that will be you.
More than fair.
That's
just self-preservation.
Like one of Steve Reed and Roy.
Yeah. Met Gala tonight.
Yeah.
Am I going to see you there?
Hey, bud.
Am I going to see you? Am I going to see you there?
I don't know.
Johnny loves dressing up. Johnny loves putting on a tux. You're going to be there, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. Johnny, come to the Met Gala, baby.
I do. I love fancy occasions and socialising with people I don't know.
Yep.
It's a win-win for me, you know that.
You love museums where everything was given as a gift. I know that. I know you love it. I know you love stuff that's where it's supposed to be.
That's true. I don't have complicated feelings about the Met at all.
Nope.
Do you know what? This year, I'm not going to be there, Seth.
Are you not?
All previous years.
Oh, no.
Future years.
All right.
Yeah. But I'm so happy that you're going.
All right. Can I call you as soon as I leave to tell you everybody I met?
What story is your outfit telling? I just want to get you warmed up for the red carpet. Seth, huge fan. What story is your outfit telling?
Fashion brings us together.
Oh, sorry. Jennifer Coolidge is over here. No. That's right. Fashion bring us together?
Now, you've been invited.
I've been invited before, yeah, but I've said no because I don't think I'm going to elevate that evening. I think I'm a net positive to a night like that. It was a mercy refusal on my part. I think you want this. I know in practice you don't. Let's just squash this invite right now. Yeah, I don't. But I'm very, very, very much looking forward to seeing you on the carpet.
Thank you.
What? Do you eat there?
Do I eat there?
Yeah. Does one eat
It's the
there?
best because nobody does, and so I just go to town. Everybody's like everybody's in like such tight-fitting clothing. It's like maybe the most dinners I have in a night.
Do you know what you're going to eat tonight?
Whatever they have.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not picky. Yeah, I'm cool with the Met.
So, just to be clear, you're fine as well with where they've been getting their stuff.
I think a lot of it was just there.
Yeah.
I think the Temple of Dender was actually originally built there.
So much
and they put the museum around it.
So much of this stuff just invading armies stumbled over.
Yeah.
And then found a good home for, like a kind of adopted puppy that actually had an owner.
Yeah. The good news is there's no way of ever knowing. There's no way of ever... You know, this has happened a couple times before, but tonight is the Met Ball, the Met Gala here in New York City.
Sure it is.
You've been invited.
That is no... The rule on a late-night show is a thing is brought up locally, you applaud, acknowledge it.
Yeah, come on. You've been invited, you've never gone.
That's right, yeah.
Going tonight?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not going tonight. It did feel like it would be a bold move to not go to the Met Ball, hear the theme is Black Dandyism and say...
Yeah.
This is the year for me.
Yeah.
Put me in Anna Wintour, get me in the game. I think I can speak to the theme.
A few months ago, you were here. A year ago, actually. It was a full year ago. So 12 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you.
Thanks for being specific. I am a stickler. Say it in months or I don't count it.
We did Second Chance Theater. This is a famous Mr. Cotter sketch that died with Will Ferrell at dress rehearsal and then died here.
Kind of died again?
Yeah.
Yep.
But you got to see up close the magic of Will Ferrell in a sketch that wasn't working.
Yeah, that is me not acting. That is me just watching him act. That's just being closer as an audience member than I normally am.
Yeah.
You had told me that he has this kind of sociopathic thing where he will never break, and it was really great to see his eyes, almost like his pupils dilate, as it started bombing again. Even in a friendlier environment, to see, like, there was a twinkle of happiness, but a sense of, I'm going to go all the way to the end of this. You won't... I'm not letting anyone escape with a smile or a break.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah,
it was truly... It's truly fascinating. It is Daredevil type stuff.
Yeah.
I've been reading, and you probably have as well, there's talk of SNL doing the SNL in the UK, their own version. What do you think of this idea?
Well, it sounds like a terrible idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Expound upon why it's a terrible idea.
It sounds like a bad... We have had sketch comedy before.
Yeah, pretty fairly... I mean, really excellent sketch comedy.
And you just feel like this Saturday Night Live is such a unique group. It's a cult. I'm trying to not say the word. It's a cult. And so I don't know how you're going to impose that cult onto the UK.
Well, now, what is the most cultic, from an outsider, what do you think is the most cult-like thing about SNL?
You know, I mean, lots of it, but lots of the, well, you have to, what night is it that you stay up
Tuesday
all night?
night. You stay up all night on Tuesday.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. You're saying, like,
I'm
British...
saying that's the kind of thing a cult leader would make you do. We stay up all night on Tuesdays, by the way.
Because I guess a lot of great sketch comedy has come out of places where people don't stay up all night.
I think it's been proven that SNL is the outlier.
Yeah.
You don't need... It doesn't have to be dictated to the day that you must not sleep on that day, or the great leader will be irritated.
Another thing that's being exported to England, NBC Universal announced that they're opening a theme park, not just in England, but in your hometown.
Yes.
Did you know this?
No, I found about this today. One of your producers said they're opening Universal Studios in Bedford, and I said, no, they're not.
Right.
Just with an innate sense of confidence of knowing what Universal Studio is and knowing what Bedford is and thinking those two do not fit together. But I Googled it, and it's true. Apparently, they're doing it in an old abandoned brickworks.
Okay.
Which already seems like a bold choice.
Right.
I've been to those brickworks as a kid. In fact, I went there. I was in an adaptation of a Dickensian drama, and I played a Victorian orphan. And it was in those brickworks because they still have the kind of air of sadness about them. They were, at one point, they were the largest, I believe, the largest brickworks in the world at one point. And so they made bricks there under the classic working conditions that brickworks in the 1920s had. And now they're going to build a Universal Studios there, which feels like not the worst decision that NBC Universal has ever made, but definitely the funniest.
What was the adaptation? What was your...
Bleak House.
Bleak House.
Yeah,
there's going to be a Bleak House ride.
It really is. I mean, I do think it's like all of their renderings that I was looking at are kind of, this is spectacular, this is going to be amazing, which it might be. I will say, but if you remember the Wonka experience from Glasgow, you might get that instead. Right. Yeah, you might be promising Universal Studios, and instead you have a Paddington chain smoking outside. The thing about moving livestock from Peru without visas is we're often vectors for disease. My fur's falling off. Do you want a picture?
Now, are you worried about the staffing for this theme park based on the local scene?
That sounds like you're trying to get me to all over the town that I'm from.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
right.
I would not want the people that I grew up with pretending to be Elsa.
Right.
But again, who would they have? Who does Universal have? Minions?
Well, yeah, I guess it's Minions. Yeah, you could do Minions.
Yeah, Minions. There's a quiet violence about them, isn't there? Yeah, no, we could do that.
Oh, so the quiet violence of Minions reminds you of home. All right, we just passed the first 100 days of the second.
What?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel like it's going?
I mean, it depends who you are.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a baby without the ability to understand the complexities in the world, I imagine it's still just colours and sounds in a way.
Yeah.
And that must be great. If you're anywhere older than 6 or 7 years old, I think there's a real sense of menace in the air that feels like it's going to be around for a while.
You, we talked in 2019 about, you know, your basically your perpetual anxiety about your immigration status.
Yeah.
You finally sorted that out.
Well, yes. I think so. In that I'm an American citizen now.
Right.
But the problem is, until you get your citizenship, it is such a low hum of paranoia in the back of your head. It never really goes. So there are waves of relief almost every day now where I have to remind myself I'm a citizen. I got my passport out to look at it the other day, just wanted to see it there. But I did find myself at one point Googling, can you take away someone's citizenship? And I'll be honest, I didn't get the overwhelming no that I was looking for from Google.
It certainly seems like the most sliding scale of what's a citizen we've ever dealt with.
Yeah, Google really led with, I mean, almost definitely not. Google. I mean, in extreme circumstances, what is this, Google? Well, maybe. Yes, I'm very, very, very grateful to be an American citizen right now. I will say that, and I cannot say that strongly. I am an American citizen, so I'm an American citizen. So constitutionally, you can't do to me the thing that you're thinking that you can in your head. Please don't try it.
Well, look, a lot of people, I think, have been cowed by the Trump administration and have stepped back. You certainly have it on your show. Last 3 weeks, deportations, tariffs, RFK. Yeah. How do you feel about people who are maybe tapping the brakes or trying to steer clear of his ire?
I think it's morally terrible, but I also think it's practically a bad decision. I think you feel this way as well. There's no point in pre-conceding to him. Right? It feels that you have to draw a lot. There's no point in giving the school bully money before he's asked for it from you.
Yeah. I
think there's been some real mistakes from Harvard and CBS with this kind of pre-concession. Oh, he will understand. Well, if we give him this now, he'll remember later. No, he won't. Yeah. He'll just keep coming back. So you may as well fight now. So, yeah, I think we definitely behave like there'll be no consequences, and I trust that there won't be.
I hope as well?
Sure.
Did I go up at the end?
You went really high there. Google, will there be consequences? I mean, only in extreme circumstances.
We do one of my favorite things every month is we do a residency show at the Beacon, one Sunday a month with our friend Brooks Wheelan. New York, it happens in New York. I was very excited last Sunday. Your parents were at the show.
Yeah, I love it. Well, it's so fun, right?
Yeah.
Every Sunday. It's so fun. It's a nice, relaxing time. Yeah, my parents did come, and they really enjoyed it. And their main notes were, 1, they were surprised by how many people had come to see us.
Yep.
2, they were surprised by how much the tickets cost.
Right.
That was the main takeaway. Enjoyed it, but 2 big old caveats there of, wow, people really like this, and wow, this costs a lot.
Now, I was hopeful that, because they've come to the show here before when you were a guest.
They've sat in here and applauded when they heard place names.
I did not meet them.
No.
And then I sort of thought maybe, they're at the Beacon, maybe I'll be lucky enough to meet them.
No, they just got here, so they were tired. They were on UK time, so they went straight to bed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But if they were like on New York time, they would come back and say hello?
They would definitely come back and say, hey, Seth, there's a lot of people here and these tickets cost a lot.
Assuming they don't know about it, how excited will they be when they find out about a Universal theme park opening in your hometown?
I said to my mom, hey, apparently there's a Universal. She said, well, they bought the land. It hasn't happened yet. And I kind of think she's right about that. They said it's going to open in 6 years' time, and they haven't built anything yet. That's how theme parks work, right? You really want to build theme parks quickly. Nothing bad ever happens then.
On the set of Bleak House.
Yeah, that's what will put Britain on the map again. Mass death on a roller coaster.
Did you have a line in Bleak House, or were you just a background street urchin?
No, I was not a background street urchin. You said. I was not a background street urchin. Okay. I was a street urchin who, I believe, had been taken by a governess and was being shopped around. And all they said. I didn't have a line. They dragged us through the mud at the brickworks that will soon be the Universal Studios. And then Diana Rigg gave us aniseed.
Diana Rigg, Avengers, Game of Thrones.
That's right, gave us aniseed balls to get our sugar levels high. And then they said to us, we just need you to look bored. And all of us said, no problem. We are that.
Was
Yeah.
that your first? Was Bleak House your first gig?
First and only, yeah.
Really?
First and only real acting gig.
And
yeah.
then what happened? Did like there was just no heat afterwards?
I think I was 6 years old and I thought I did it.
Yeah. You're like, I think
I don't know if I can do a more complete performance. I'm exhausted. I'm wrung out from just living the role of Felix Particle so deeply.
You had a name?
I had a name.
Wow, Felix Particle.
Felix Particle. No papa, no mama.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. Absolutely full of aniseed balls. Force-fed to him from Diana Rigg, who said it was a candy. Aniseed balls are not a candy that a child would enjoy.
Would your boys,
Yeah.
your sons, be excited to see it?
I hadn't even considered showing it to them. Yeah, I think they would.
It's very exciting to me. I think
Yes.
kids are very excited. Their favorite picture of me is a picture of me when I was their age. You know, a school
Yeah.
photo. They can't conceive of.
I think they might actually really like that.
Yeah.
And if they say you look like you're acting bored, not you're bored, I'll say go straight to bed.